Hello, metal scene. I'm here because I've been accused of fake guitar, faking one clip and miming live on stage. Wow. All right, is this true? Let's check it out.
The problem is when things sound too perfect, we don't believe them to be true because human hands aren't perfect, right? We make noise, there's clunks, there's clanks, there's and can't, and when you don't hear any of that, but just perfect, flawless playing, you know it's either heavily edited or probably manipulated in one way or another.
Looks like I have some explaining to do, right? Jared Dines has a good solution for this.
To which I'll say that if I was accused of faking something, the first thing I would do is go and play that specific clip that I was being accused of faking.
So we're gonna go ahead and knock that out. But before I do, I have a few things to say about the clip. The clip was room audio with camera mic, and there is string noise in that clip. There is absolutely string noise there on the ascending legato run. I'm a little surprised that that's the clip that was chosen, because if you think it's perfect, that's great. Like, I worked really hard, like tirelessly, to get it that perfect. It's my warm-up I use for sound check, and I practice it every day. And to weirdly be discredited for something so, like, trivial, it just seems weird to me. But thank you, because I'm taking it as a compliment of how clean I was able to get it. Anyways, we're gonna head into the studio now, and I'm gonna give you all the routing information of exactly what's going on, and I'll be playing the same guitar respective of each clip. For the routing, we have a LEGATO guitar into a DI box. The DI box splits the signal so that the DI and the process guitar could be recorded on separate tracks. Process guitar on track 1, DI on track 2. Now for the process guitar, we have a precision drive pedal into a Kemper, and we also have everything going in real time. You could see my voice being recorded right now. We have a clock just for the meme, and when I'm playing guitar, you'll be able to see both tracks being recorded. At the end of this video, I will also be releasing all DI tracks, so everyone could go through them with a fine-tooth comb, and I welcome you to do so. So here's what it sounds like slow. And that's what it sounds like up to speed. Now the second clip, it has some explanation I need to give behind it. Basically, the two main arguments that I see online are I'm not like playing the descending sweeps because I'm not picking them. Okay, let's take a look at that argument. First of all, you're just wrong. I am playing them. Second of all, you do not need to pick the descending sweeps, especially when you're using a fret wrap like I am, because there is a guitar technique where you hold the neck and you could do legato runs all day. And that's what's happening there. And I'm going to demonstrate exactly how I do that on the descending sweeps, so everybody could see that it's true. So a little bit more about fret wraps, just so everybody's on the same page and you guys know what I'm talking about. So this is a fret wrap, this little guy right here. It could slide anywhere. Normally you put it up here to above the first fret to get rid of any like harmonic overtones and reduce feedback. You know, it doesn't really help out with much other than that. But I have no shame, and I put it on My first fret. It helps things be cleaner. Guitar is not a sport. I don't care. I don't care. It's like when people argued about the triggers. I do this, I'm happy with it, and there's a reason why I do it. I do it because of what I explained earlier. The guitar technique where you put your hand here, it gets rid of all the string noise and you could legato all over the place. Well, if you always have a fret wrap here, you could do the same thing. You could legato all over the place without a hand needing to hold here. So this acts as the hand, and that's what I've always done for those descending sweeps in the Godless Times song. Now, the other argument that I've seen online is that basically I'm just up there miming the guitar live because the articulation of the pick is pick notes, and I'm doing a multitude of techniques in the sweep. I'm sliding, I'm hammering on, I'm pulling off. So yeah, why does it sound like this? It's actually quite simple. Rings of Saturn has no stage sound. What does that mean? It means we do not use speakers or cabinets that push sound into the audience. No sound comes off the stage into the audience. All of our sound comes from the venue speakers or house speakers because we always go direct in to the house board. We use Kemper's Live or HX Stomps. We just run that directly into the house and it comes out wherever the house speakers are. So why is this important? Well, if you look at the angle in which this video was taken, the person is directly next to my stage monitor. A stage monitor is something musicians use to shoot audio directly at them only. And what comes out of that monitor is things that help them play, like audio cues, like drums or vocals or guitar or whatever. If I needed Happy Birthday to blast out of that stage monitor in my face to somehow help me play Rings of Saturn songs, that is all that person would hear because they are right next to it and there's no stage sound. So there's a couple things happening here. I'm playing the guitar, Joel's playing the guitar simultaneously, and there's a harmony track being played as well. It's a pre-recorded track. All I have in my stage monitor is that pre-recorded harmony track. It's not my guitar that you're hearing in that video. And it makes me laugh because everybody immediately assumed that it was. Joel isn't even heard in that video. I'm not heard in that video. It's only the harmony track blasting from my stage monitor. Now, if you were further back in the crowd, in this next clip I'm about to show you, you would hear all three guitar parts happening. You'd hear me playing, Joel playing, and the pre-recorded harmony. It's as simple as that. So you could clearly hear multiple guitars playing. You could hear mine, Joel's, and the harmony track. You could also hear string noise in between breakdowns where we're muting it and there should be silence. All these details just, show that it is real. So now that that's established, I'd like to introduce everyone to Alex Kendrick. He's been our front of house audio engineer for around 7 years. He knows all the ins and outs of every live thing that happens with Rings of Saturn, among many, many other bands that he's worked with in his career. Not only that, but he has our live recordings. He records many of our sets live, and he has a few words to say about this whole fake guitar situation.
Howdy y'all, Alex Kendrick here, front of house engineer for Rings of Saturn as well as many other bands. I've been with Rings of Saturn for a majority of their career and mine as well. It's been brought up to my attention that there's been a lot of talk about this fake guitar playing and stuff going on with our tracks. So right off the bat, there's two guitar DIs, one for Joel, one for Lucas. We have a sample line that has a third guitar playing in certain instances to relate to the song on the album. If you notice, there's two guitar players live. What does that mean? There's a third guitar part, so naturally you're gonna have to squeeze that in somewhere. So it's on a pre-recorded track. For the video that was brought up, as Lucas mentioned, you're hearing the stage monitor. In Luke's monitor, he typically doesn't even like to have his own guitar. We don't bring our own cabs, speakers, any monitoring system. We use what's at the venue, so it's a different variable every day. The whole argue with the tracks thing, with me personally, is I guarantee some of your favorite bands, artists, whatever have you, have more tracks than you think. And whether you want to believe it or not, that's a fact, and that's what's going on with modern music. So it's like not an argument, it's not an opinion, it's just a fact. And the reason for it is that it sounds good, and you know, we live in what's almost 2020, and you want to hear something that sounds good. So in relation to that video of Lucas playing the sweeps in Godless Times, there's no miming going on. It's all being played through front of house. There's plenty of videos you can look up to hear. In fact, you're just hearing the stage monitor because someone is standing on the front of the stage with no barricade, which is a huge reason why barricades are awesome, because it allows the crowd to have a better mix and not be on the stage hearing a monitor. But just wanted to throw that out there. That's my 2 cents, and there's some facts. And another topic would be the live recordings. I record every single set from the tour at front of house from the console, and anyone that's toured with us usually hears those during sound check before the show, because I typically make sure the room EQ sounds all right with it, etc. But let's take a listen to some of those and see what you think.
So like I mentioned, there's 2 guitarists, and then there's third guitar parts to better represent what's happening on the album, because sometimes there's 3 different riffs playing at once. There's multiple harmonies that we go for a very big sound so that we get on the records. I just want to say that I've always been completely honest about using this live. I think where a lot of the actual confusion comes from is that when I am asked if I mime guitar live, I say no. And but when I'm also asked if we use tracks live, I say yes. Just because you use tracks does not mean that your guitar is not playing. So there are 2 different arguments. The argument is using tracks and not playing live at all and just pretending, which is not what we do, as opposed to understanding that, yes, there are tracks and third guitar parts and bass and stuff happening live, but we are still playing our guitars. For anybody else who wants to know, along with our live guitars, what you hear, there is a third guitar playing. There is a bass guitar playing because we don't have a bassist. We also don't have a third guitarist, so those things need to be supplemented to best represent what is happening on the album with these songs. Also, we have 808s. We have a line going to our drummer who listens to a click. We have synth parts because we don't have the synthesizer player either. So in my mind, I think all of this is fair. It doesn't take away from the show. It represents what's on the album, and it's not misrepresenting anything that is happening live because we are playing. So big thank you to Alex Kendrick, who let us hear live recordings straight out of the console at our shows. So you're able to hear all of our live guitars playing. in that regard. We also now know that the audio in that video was from the stage monitor. It doesn't represent my guitar at all because I don't have my guitar in my monitor. It is just that pre-recorded track. We have fan videos further back in the crowd to where you could hear all guitars playing that way. And later in this video, you'll be able to hear my direct guitar playing these sweeps, and also you'll be able to inspect my DIs to see that everything is legitimate. A couple of last details before we head into the studio and you get to see me play these sweeps. Basically, I know people will ask, if there's no stage sound, why is there a guitar cabinet on the stage? Well, the previous bands were nice enough to keep their guitar cab or cabs on stage so we could put our gear on them, like lights for production. There's no sound coming out of the cabs. We don't have anything to power those cabs, and that's the end of the cabs. The other detail is that along with, you know, doing the hammer-on technique on the descending sweeps, I like to slide in between each sweep, which means that it cuts off like maybe a couple of notes for the slide. So anyways, that's something. I don't know. People like to nitpick stuff, so might as well just get it out there and say that it's a stylistic choice because that's what I like to do. It's what I've always done, and there's no shame in that for me. So the other thing is that, yeah, this sweeping section, it's made up of 4 sweep shapes, and I'm just going to play those 4 sweep shapes to show you that basically you don't have to pick the descending runs. I've already released a raw playthrough of these sweeps before, back in 2018 with Yo, and yeah, so anyways, here's all the stuff.
No picking needed on descending sweeps. And that's up to speed.
Dude.
All right.
We did.
So thank you to everybody who's made it this far in the video. I really hope that clears everything up about everything that has been going on. Before I begin this next part, I want to just say that I'm not attacking anybody. I'm not defending anybody. I'm not even defending myself. I just want to get the truth out there about what is going on and give some of my opinions about what has been happening in the scene lately with call-out culture and just all this toxicity going on. I think it could be really helpful. Now, before moving on to this next piece of information, I just want to say that I absolutely have nothing but respect for Jared Dines. I love what he does. He's a very big positive influence to the metal scene and the community. He's a good guy. I've worked with him on multiple videos that we've released, and great, fun, amazing to work with. Honestly, it was some of the funnest projects that I've done. But at the same time, you know, as much as I consider him a friend, I do kind of feel betrayed on some of the stuff that happened, and it's something that I would look forward to resolving in whatever way that comes down. So I'm now going to put up some screenshots of a conversation Jared Dines and I had on his recent Instagram post that he made about this whole fake guitar thing. To be honest, I didn't really care about the fake guitar video that he made. It didn't bother me much. I didn't prefer it. But when I see him on comment threads just blatantly telling people that I am miming live, never contacting me beforehand, never getting any information about whether I was or not, it's very concerning because it's just not true. And it's even more concerning that the entire comment thread got deleted because I feel like, or at least it seems like, that I'm being censored from my side of the story, which is just unfair. So here's the comment thread that Jared Dines deleted. I removed all the other people that were commenting in between, so it's just a fluid reading experience. Jared says, Lucas definitely mimed some parts live. I follow up and say, when we were working together on a couple of videos that I was featured in on your channel, you said you may come to the Seattle show of our album release tour. I thought that it would have been cool to meet you in person and for you to see me play live, so I guest listed you and followed up. But you couldn't make it. It's a shame because you would have seen that I'm definitely playing my parts live. Now, this is funny because the clip of the show that I posted earlier from the fan that was further back in the crowd was actually the show that I guest listed him to. And if he were at that show, he would have seen what I'm trying to show you all now in this video. And this might have not happened at all, but he was busy. It's very understandable. You know, he's got a lot of stuff going on, which I get. He follows up. It's from a clip I saw. The sweeping section didn't seem like you were playing it. To me, I could be wrong. You're obviously very good. If you are admitting that you could be wrong, can you please not say it like it is a fact? Now, that's very fair for me to say because he doesn't know if it's a fact or not, but he's going around blatantly saying that I'm miming my parts live. And in this Instagram post that he made, the first thing he talks about is people frauding their audience to sell tickets. So he's wrapping me up in this, whether I like it or not. And it's huge misrepresentation. He follows up and says, I don't think I'm wrong. The clip is pretty blatant. I'm not attacking you, brother, just stating what I see. I can link the clip or discuss this privately if you wish. So it starts to get even more concerning to me because Jared Dines is showing that not only he, but other people in the metal community are so impressionable about a random YouTuber that makes clips about things that they don't know about either. They never asked me about this clip. They don't know what's happening in the clip fully, but everybody believes it. I say, I do not think this needs to be discussed privately, but it would be great if next time you came out to a show so you could see for yourself how it is done. Joel and I both play those sweeps simultaneously to achieve that big harmonized sound. You have already been incorrect about other guitarists, and I wish you would see the full picture about how you were incorrect here. Now, that is when he deleted this thread, and it's a huge bummer because it did not give me the opportunity to defend myself, and it's one of the reasons why I'm making this video, because people need to hear my side of the story and how I'm kind of just being pushed in this corner with this. It's like people are forcing the narrative, you know, that I am fake. Everything I do is fake. I should be discredited as a musician. And it's very frustrating that people are not allowing me to defend myself. So it actually gets worse. After he deleted the thread, I mean, I said I didn't want to take it into a private conversation. He hits me up anyways and starts being accusatory. He says, brother, in the video, you don't even pick the final arpeggio. Why are you being dishonest about this? I deleted the post. I'm sorry for speaking out of turn, but come on, man, don't lie to me. So he thinks I'm a liar. He's accusing me. And, you know, at least he said that he's sorry, but it's like a very backhanded sorry, and I don't really know what to think of it at this point because, you know, as you've seen in this video, he is very much in the wrong. I go on to say, Jared, the sweeps and godless times that I believe you're referring to are picked ascending and hammered on descending. I've always played them this way for years live and in videos. Joel plays these sweeps simultaneously along with me to achieve a big harmonized sound like I said before. Here is a raw video of myself playing the sweeps along with Yo Onatan using the camera mic as audio. By the way, the clip that you used of me in your fake guitarist video was raw and real as well. So I'm giving him an actual raw playthrough, room audio, camera mic of me playing these sweeps. I'm trying to explain to him what I explained in this video. And also I'm letting him know that, dude, like the other clip that you used in your fake guitar video was also real, and you just keep accusing me of this stuff, and it's not fair. He follows up and he says, I messaged you a video on Facebook because Instagram won't let me upload it, but it's where I'm getting my stance on it. If I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. I'm not trying to shame you. I know people use backtracks. Just please don't lie to me. That hurts me more than anything. I'm on your side. I want to believe you. Here's where it gets particularly interesting, because he says, if I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. And I hope that he does. Honestly, I hope that he does. He says he's not trying to shame me, but putting me in a fake guitar video. Okay. He says, I know people use backtracks. He's basically assuming that I'm miming and using only tracks. Like I said earlier in this video, there are two arguments. One, that you use tracks and that you pretend to play it and mime it live, which is definitely untrue. This is what he thinks is happening. The other is that you use supplemental tracks for third guitars and your guitar is live and you actually are playing, which actually is happening. So when I'm defending myself and I'm saying I am not miming, that's the truth. So yeah, it just puts the whole thing in a really hard position. It makes him think that I'm lying. I'm not lying. I'm not being dishonest. And he just wants honesty. So that's part of the reason why I'm making this video. I'm trying to make the most honest video that I possibly can to reach out to everybody, including him. What does he say? That hurts me more than anything. I'm on your side. I want to believe you. It really doesn't seem like he does want to believe me here. It seems like he wants to catch me saying something out of turn and then post it everywhere to get more YouTube clout. Could be, but hey, I'm going to pull what he says and I say I could be wrong. I say, like I said, Joel is playing this section simultaneously with me live, and where you are standing in the crowd changes the balance of how much each guitar you are hearing. I do know that he picks the descending section like Yo Onitian does, while I hammer it on as a stylistic difference, so it's very possible the audio could actually be his guitar mistaken for mine in that video. I do not mime anything in our set and never have. I have given you the raw audio of me playing this section and invited you to come see it live as well. What more do I need to do at this point? Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, no matter how much proof you give people about this, it's never enough. If you do a mime video, they say, oh, why don't you play it raw? You do a raw video, oh, well, that must be fake, or why is the audio so bad? You know, you cannot win. You absolutely cannot win. And that's what I think the guitar community is starting to realize. Now that this has been brought to people's attention and shoved in everybody's face so much, everyone's become paranoid of this whole fake guitar thing. Like, people are calling each other out. Everyone's accusing each other. Well-established guitarists that have been playing for years are now being called out as quote-unquote fake guitarists when they are clearly not fake. It's created this whole toxic just chain reaction that's just affecting everyone negatively. And, you know, I've dealt with this type of thing for 10 years. I've been scapegoated for it time and time and time again. Now everyone's getting a taste of that medicine of what it is like to be in my shoes, and it is not fair. I'm tired of being scapegoated for this fake guitar playing thing. And when people get called out now, they just throw me under the bus. They say, oh, at least I'm not as fake as Lucas or this guy, and I am clearly not fake either. So I've tried to defend myself as much as possible here. I brought up that where you stand in the crowd changes the balance of what you're hearing. At this point, I didn't review the audio from that video to know that it wasn't Joel at this point. And then when I did and found out that it was actually the harmony track coming from my stage monitor from where the person was standing and recording the video, that's when I needed to, you know, clarify this with everybody. He makes an apology here and says, I'm not trying to fight you. I love your music and art. I just want an environment of honesty. I'm sorry for speaking on the clip. You're right, I shouldn't have. You've invited me, and as much as I wanted to make it, that day was just slammed for me. I appreciate it, and I hope to make it out next time. I hope this isn't too damaging on our friendship. I'm questioning a lot of things right now and need to be more careful, I will admit. I really do appreciate this apology, but I can't take it as genuine for a few reasons. You never came and talked to me about any of these clips. You basically were convinced that I was a liar in these messages and that I was being dishonest. You put the fake guitar video up. You then go on this thread to the right, and in the comments, you're telling people I am blatantly miming my guitar parts. Again, not asking me anything. And then when I try to actually defend myself, you delete the whole thread. Only once I started defending myself did you actually message me to open up a discussion about what was happening in these clips. But you came forward at me like I was already dishonest and I was already guilty. To me, friends don't do stuff like that, man. And I have never done anything bad to you. You know, I've only wanted to work with you on videos, and that's it. And it really sucks because when you read this post, it says selling tickets/courses to directly profit from people believing they can also learn to play as good as you and or witness your insane talent in person, to me, is dishonest. I will not apologize to someone who's blatantly doing that. So yeah, I'm tied into this whether I like it or not, because you've made the case that I fit this bill and I don't. And I tried to defend myself and I couldn't. And at this point, like, apologizing to me in a private message doesn't really do much, because in my mind, with the amount of following that you have, you could make or break people's careers. You know, people have been severely damaged over this, including myself. I'll go into that a little bit later into this video on exactly what's happening to me because of this whole debacle. And I'm just really disappointed about how all this went down, to be honest. The only reason I brought up these conversations between Jared and I is because I feel like my side of the story is being suppressed. And these conversations show a huge chunk of what is actually happening here. I do not want anybody to harass anyone over this. I'm not looking for anything negative to come out of it. I'm just trying to show the honesty and truth of exactly what's going on and why that I felt this video needed to be made in the first place. I understand what Jared Dines was trying to do by opening up a dialogue about expressing your music as honestly as possible to those who look up to you. I really respect that too. I even plan on releasing a follow-up video to this one discussing production techniques that happen on our records, just to push that honesty as far as it could possibly go, because so many misconceptions are made with people talking, and I just feel like what Jared Dines said is true. People need to be more honest with everybody. Because if that honesty doesn't happen eventually, people become resentful, and then this call-out culture does happen, and then neglectful reporting happens, and then rumors happen, and then nobody has the real story. And neglectful reporting is exactly what happened. Imagine my surprise after doing 2 videos with Jared Dines and being featured in a positive light in his past videos, to find a fake guitar video calling me out and other people. And, you know, and it wasn't just him. It was tons of YouTubers jumping on this train and just absolutely dragging my name through the mud, assuming so many things. And not one person who was making these videos reached out to me to ask me, what is happening in this clip? Why does it sound like this live? You know, they just discredited, they shamed me, they dragged my name through the mud, and they threw accusations at me. It wasn't fair, and I didn't really have a voice in the matter because, you know, with call-out culture on the internet, once it happens, everybody just goes and believes it. It sets off this chain reaction and this witch hunt where it snowballs out of control, and it's just an echo chamber. Everybody repeats what the dialogue is. Everybody's calling me out. Everybody's calling out other guitarists, and it never ends. And I think it's super hypocritical for these YouTubers to go out there and, without any information, any background information, to make videos and call people out, that could totally be wrong, but damage other people's careers with no regard for their mental health, just for views and clicks and ad revenue and followers. It's quite funny and hypocritical that they virtue signal themselves as to being the good guys when in reality, like, they're doing the same things that they thought that I was doing. They thought that I was misrepresenting my playability to my fans to sell tickets. That was one of their main arguments. They're misrepresenting and damaging other people's careers as a public spectacle to make money off of it. Is that fair? Now, I haven't toured in 2 years because of an incident that happened where I was physically assaulted. And, you know, for them to even think that I need or care so much about ticket sales that I would lie to everybody is ridiculous, because I wouldn't have taken the time off from my mental health if all I cared about was tickets and money. Now that I'm back, it's like, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. I did one US tour, and then everybody throws me under the bus again. And quite honestly, I don't deserve this. Nobody deserves this. And it just needs to end. Like, everybody's calling each other out. It's not fair to anybody. It creates so much stress on every side of the spectrum. And you know what? After this whole debacle that happened, I talked about it damaging people's careers. I was already working on a new endorsement with a company that I was really interested in. I lost the endorsement opportunity. It's affecting everybody in the most negative way possible. So much so that I've been receiving threats of violence, threats against my life, threats from people who genuinely believe that I'm frauding people, so they want to sue me, on top of losing the endorsement, on top of everybody just flooding my pages, you know, saying the worst things imaginable. It's just like all this because people feel that the need to call other people out and misrepresent people, misrepresent careers, just for clicks, followers, monetary gain, YouTube sensationalism, clout, you name it. You're destroying people's lives. And one might argue, no, that's not what I was doing. I just wanted everybody to be honest in the scene, and I wanted to expose people for tricking other people. This, to me, is a farce, because honestly, if you wanted honesty in the scene, why not open up a conversation with them? Why not ask them what's going on? You know, instead of playing into this whole thing that destroys mental health in the first place, calling people out and shaming them. That's where it gets negligent. It's just inaccurate reporting. And based on everything that I had been witnessing in the metal scene, I think it's a possibility, a thought that it might all come from a place of insecurity. And here's why.
There are a lot of kids out there who log onto Instagram and they see these amazing players and they think, I will never be able to do this, and they end up either being depressed or they put it down. And I can say I have been one of those people. So there's definitely much better guitarists out there in the world, and there always will be. But there's also people who are faking it and doing inhuman things and acting like it's completely just talent and practice.
And that right there is where the problem lies. You have an incredibly talented, incredibly real drummer like Lord Marco, and you know what happens when we post him to our page? Fake, 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 fake. Comes from a place of insecurity. Every good player that is actually good and takes time to practice, people are mad, people are jealous, people are envious, people are insecure. They call them fake because it's something that they cannot do. People can be inhumanly good. Just because you think that it's inhumanly good doesn't mean that, you know, we're in competition with you. Instruments, guitars, drums, whatever, none of these things are competitive sports. That we are not in competition with each other as musicians. The guitar, the drums, All instruments are just tools of artistic expression. That's all they are. Just share your art with people. Stop being this way. So that's where guitar videos that are mimed come into play. That's where production techniques that people use on their tracks come into play, whether they be drummers, guitarists, vocalists, etc. Just because people use these techniques to present their art the way they want you to hear it, absolutely does not mean that it's fake. Raw videos are great too. It shows off what an artist could do, and that should absolutely be celebrated. But top guitarists release mime videos as well. And the reason they do that is because they're professionals that want people to view their content in the highest quality possible as a production. Because music is just another form of entertainment for us all to enjoy.